YTPC. Padre Piper coming at you via the virtual airwaves of YouTube. Saying hello, YouTube pipe community. I hope you are doing well. Wanted to talk to you for a few minutes today about Penzance, but not necessarily about Penzance, but some alternatives to this so-called unicorn blend. No, it does exist. It does. I've got some in the cellar. Is it good? Yes. Esoterica uses some fine tobaccos in their blends, and Penzance is good. The question becomes, is it worth all the trouble, all the hassle, all the cost that people are willing to pay on consignment and auction sites, etc., etc.? I don't know. Only you can be the judge of that. But I'll tell you this, I've got some stuff that I think are pretty good alternatives to it. I wanted to share my top 5 list with you today. Before I do that, some housekeeping. I am enjoying today. It went out. It's going to go out because I'm going to keep talking instead of paying attention to the smoke. But I am smoking today and having problems in this cool morning breeze with my my lighter. I lift it from the acolyte storage area at the church. You know, maybe we'll just let that go out so I can talk to you. Before I go any further, the housekeeping. This is my Savinelli unfinished, my Sab 3 series. This is my brandy, which I acquired strictly by accident. I happen to sort of believe Carl Jung when he says there really are no accidents in the universe. And so, you know, you've heard the saying, you don't choose the pipe chooses you, and this pipe chose me. There's a video explaining this. It was quite by coincidence or accident or whatever you want to call it, back in summer of 2016. You can go find it. It's a Yabo gone bad, but it's a good pipe. Anyway, what am I smoking that? You're going to find out because it's part of my countdown today. But before I get to that countdown of the alternatives to Esoterica, I need to send a shout out and a bit of an apology to the mayor of the YouTube pipe community, Mr. Derek Tant, because in my last video, I was supposed to do this. I was supposed to do my top 5 alternatives to Penzance, and at the last moment, I made a change of, I called an audible, and I went with my top 5 alternatives to the Frog Morton series. And I thought that was a great idea. And, you know, then I realized, wow, just a couple of weeks earlier, I had watched Mr. Tant's video on the same concept. So it wasn't even my idea. But anyway, my original idea was to do the alternative to Penzance. And so that's where we're going today. Derek Tant, thank you for that wonderful concept. And, you know, hey, if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. It's up. You might as well watch it, even though I ripped off Derek. But, okay, there's one overlap in my top 5 list this time around with the last one, and it's my first one coming out the box at number 5. It is the C&D Star of the East, a fantastic in-your-face latakia blend. I'm going to try and light it again. I'm going to let you hear those church bells. And they're going to ring. Maybe I should just do an edit here. I think the church bells are done. Okay, number 5, Star of the East from Cornell and Deal. Again, it's a heavy latakia blend. If you like the taste, you like that smokiness of latakia, you can't go wrong with this blend. I think it is just one of those lat blends, one of those English Balkan styles that you can't go wrong with. Stove Red Virginia mixed in there, and it's number 5 on this particular list, and it shares a spot with my previous video on the alternatives to the Froggy series. But the next 4 are all different than that previous list, and here they are. At number 4, an alternative to Penzance, the Unicorn. This is one you can get your hands on, and it's not difficult to find, and it is good. It's this GLP's Gaslight. Now, let me read you a little something off the net about this deep, rich, and full flavored. It is full flavored. Gaslight burns slowly. It does, and cool. Delivering a lingering, satisfying smoke for the true connoisseur of latakia-based blends. Can't argue with any of that. What's my argument? I'm going to lay the pipe down to show you my argument. Number 1, like a lot of GLP blends, I find, anyway, for my taste, is a little heavy on the nick hit. So I've got to be careful with that, because I can get a little sensitive to too much nicotine. But that aside, this is my only other issue with it. It comes looking like this little brownie here, which looks delicious, and it smells. It smells nice, and it tastes nice. For me, the problem is you got to cut this and rub it out, and really, do I have to work that hard to get a good smoke? It's worth it. It's just something I don't like doing, but you know, and I think part of the reason is I don't have those neat knives that so many of you have. I've got to get me a good knife for cutting to make this a little bit easier. So that's number 4 as an alternative to the Unicorn, GLP's Gaslight. Number 3 on the list, it's another C&D blend, Cornell & Deal's Engine, number 99, and I'll tell you, another full flavored, full-bodied, just a good overall English blend. It is actually a combination of red Odessa and unpressed components of pirate cake. Another way of saying that, I guess, is pirate cake scraps, which is another, of course, sort of in-your-face lat blend. But old Engine 99, again, a little on the stronger side with the nick hit. Got to be careful with that. But boy, if you're looking for some flavor, it's loaded with latakia. It's also got a little hint of Perique in there. It's got some Virginias, some Burley, some Orientals. It all mixes off pretty daggone well. And then my number 2 and my number 1, I'm putting these kind of in sleeper category. Not a whole lot of folks seem to be talking about these. These are fine English blends. And while we're still, you know, a little ways from summer, you may as well get that latakia hit in. For me anyway, I tend to shy away from the latakia blends once it gets to be a little bit too warm. Number 4 comes to us from Davidoff. Don't want my little page to blow away. It's called Royalty. I'm going to read you the tin. It says, a classic English medium blend of mature red Virginia and Oriental tobaccos, and it's not what I would call an in-your-face latakia blend. It's not even necessarily latakia forward, but for me, it's still in that ballpark, for me anyway, of the Esoterica Penzance line. It's, I think, probably, again, not well, it's just not talked about a whole lot. And it's worth giving it a shot, folks. I think that this is one of those sleeper blends out there that a lot of people would get a lot of enjoyment from if they knew about it and gave it a try. And that's how I feel about my number 1. It's the one I'm smoking, or I was attempting to smoke and didn't keep lit. And I'm not even sure that this lighter that oh, look at that, I got a good flame. Pardon me one moment. Tasty, 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 tasty. What's my number 1 on the list for alternatives to Esoterica Penzance? I'm going to say it's this. Now again, none of these are meant to be matches to Esoterica's Penzance, okay? There really is no match to that. I'm just talking about in the ballpark. that rather than wasting your time tracking that down, if you can get something a little easier that's just as enjoyable, go for it. And here it is. This is what I'm smoking. This is Solani. It's called blend number 779. It's what they call their English luxury mixture. And this is just a really, really pleasant English blend. A mixture of Virginia's Orientals, some Syrian latakia. The printout from the net says a hearty blend, which is easy on the tongue. That is true. It's got a hearty flavor about it. Plenty enough of the smokiness from the latakia. It burns well, it burns cool, it's flavorful, it's tasty. And you know what? I think it's one of those ones that's usually pretty easy to get a hold of, certainly much easier than the unicorn. And I think it would give you just as much pleasure to give it a shot. So that's it. That's my top 5 list. Some alternatives. If you're not wanting to go unicorn hunting, you can still enjoy some tasty English blends. I hope you enjoyed the list. Let me know what you think of these blends. If you've had any of them, let me know what your alternatives are to Esoterica's Penzance. Let me know if you don't even like Esoterica Penzance. I mean, you can send it my way if you don't. Love talking with you guys. Thanks for checking out the channel. This is Padre Piper, wishing you and yours God's peace, grace, and blessings.